down in the ghetto of Brixton. That the Babylon them cause such a friction. That it bring about a great insurrection. And it spread all over the north.
Gorilla Geek going 10-8. What's up, guys? I'm doing a weekend project here, and what I'm doing is 2 upgrades in one for my CZ-01 pistol here on the magazine itself. This here is your standard CZ-01, and the magazine is California blocked 10-round magazine. The CZ-01 is designed for a 14-round magazine, and it'll look just like this and fit flush with the magazine as you see here. And it's a perfect grip for me, or length as far as the grip goes, and the magazine. A downside to the CZ pistol is the accessories are really expensive. A factory 10-round magazine will cost up to $47 for a 10-round magazine. I know, that's crazy. A 17-round magazine from the factory will cost $40 to $43. But Metgar, they make replacement magazines, and they cost an average $17. That's what I paid for this 16-round magazine. This is not considered a magazine according to California law. It's a repair kit, so that's why I'm allowed to purchase repair kits and have it in my possession rather than having a fully assembled standard capacity magazine. They're not high capacity magazine. Yes, I'm getting politically correct here. Anyways, so my project is to convert these 16-round magazines into a 10-round magazine, such as this. This is not assembled, so I'm not breaking law. I'm doing it just for visual purposes here. So this modification is a 2-in-1, where this is how the magazine comes from Metgar 16 rounders CZ-01, and you have this little gap here. The magazine is still functional, but it doesn't look good, you know. It's not pleasing to the eye, I guess. So CZ, the custom shop, sells the base pad for the SP-01, and they have 19-round magazines. So the base pad for that also fits the standard CZ-75 magazine, and with this elongated polymer plastic here, it has more of a finished look to it, and it feels good and is a seamless sort of add-on to the pistol, and it kind of looks like it belongs there, you know. It doesn't look out of place, and it gives you a little bit more grip for all you bigger hand guys there. And this is the prototype that I made, and you can see that it has almost the same sort of angle as this, and the angle comes out to like 72 degrees, and that's so when I place this in there, it'll follow the contours of the magazine itself, and the spring will fit right over this. So they don't sell any block kits for CZ magazines, so if you have a problem, you gotta rectify it yourself. So I made my own using household things like, in my case, copper tubing, because you could use wood, any other type of material, but I chose copper because it's easy to work with, it's malleable. So here's my prototype, my ugly ass prototype. What I'm going to do is make the spring plate in the bottom there that presses up against the spring plate, and I made that with 3/4 inch of a pipe. You can use 1/2 inch pipe. This is just what I had laying around, so this is what I'm going to use, spare parts, you know. And I pretty much cut 5/8 of an inch of piping like so, cut in the middle and flatten it out just like so. The next step is to make the actual magazine body where the spring will ride up against on the outside, and I made that out of 1/2 inch pipe, and that's the perfect size for the CZ 9mm magazine, and the length is 1 3/4 of an inch. You may have to trim it down some to because I like going a little bit over, because if you go under, you're going to have to make the whole thing again. So I did it a little bit over, and I will trim to make it exactly 10 rounds capacity for my magazine. So here's your raw materials here, the bottom plate, the top plate. It'll look just like so. And on the bottom plate, I cut like these 2 notches there and bent over a little piece of copper upwards. Just a couple of little strips of copper still attached to the bottom plate there. That's so it would, you know, go over to the side of the other mating piece there and give it more of a secure anchor point rather than relying on the seam of, you know, soldering here where I sort of met the ends there. So it gives it an extra degree of mechanical strength there. And if you notice, the 1/2-inch pipe, I've kind of flattened it out into like a oval to match the oval of my spring here, because if I left it the way it was, it wasn't going to fit in there. But this particular configuration here, it's almost a perfect fit there, and that's pretty much how that works there. So I'm almost done here. I got the bottom piece attached, and I'm just going to trim down the top there until I meet my 10 round limit. On the bottom securing plate there, I've drilled a hole there to fit a rivet. I think it was a 1/8 inch rivet circumference. I would put another hole like on either side and have that particular latching mechanism sort of intact, but I don't want to make any more holes into the magazine to keep debris from inside going in and out of the magazine because of extra holes and whatnot. This is how the magazine itself will be assembled. Just lift that up there, put your little adapter in there. This goes over it just like so. Remember, this is the locking mechanism here. Push it down. Put your bottom plate cover on there, and voila, you have a California legal magazine. The one final step that I would have to do is drill a hole through the copper bottom there and then place a rivet in there to make it a permanent fixture, because according to the law it says it has to be a permanent fixture, but it doesn't say what degree of being permanent it is. I mean, some of these aftermarket products, they want you to epoxy the bottom or weld it or put rivets all over the place, but no, to me this is more flexible. And this is where it's important. You have to test, and test again, and when you get done with that, test one more time to make sure it could only hold 10 rounds. I got 10 rounds here already. I can't push down anymore. I got just enough to where it just goes down just a little bit. And there it is. It's a little tight, but I'd much rather have it a little tight just to make sure that I don't go beyond 10 rounds per magazine. And it's functional. So my sizing and measuring and all that was correct on all the figures that I gave you before. Alright, so let me drill the 1/8 of an inch hole to put my rivet in. And this rivet is not stainless steel. It's aluminum. And I chose aluminum to make it easier to cut afterwards. And I would put a washer, stainless steel washer there in the bottom there, so it'll lift up just a little bit, so when I take my cutters to cut the rivet away, I'll have some grabbing surface to grab on underneath the rivet itself. Okay, let's do the final assembly. 16 round magazine, follower, spring magazine. You got the spring plate there, locking mechanism, my jig. And if you notice, I cut down the bottom plate so it'll be smaller than this plate here, and it'll fit inside the magazine. This won't move anywhere, it will be stationary in the bottom, but just to clear it. Smooth inside the magazine spring, and the spring will just follow the outside contours. Fold this over. Fits in there just right. Here's the SP-01 base pad. Polymer base pad. Slip that on over. I got my washer and aluminum rivet. There it is. Nice and clean. It's permanent now. No way you could get this apart without a tool. And it's clean. I mean, there's no other holes or anything outside of it. No. Another added benefit to having this sort of setup is when you take the rivet out, you could do magazine maintenance. You could clean it, fix it, change the springs, because I guess California wants you to buy magazines all the time to replace your old used magazines, but I like to maintain my stuff myself, so I could go back and redo this. Let's load it up. And there she is. I got me a spare magazine for 3/4 less than the original price. So overall, this cost me 30 bucks per magazine to have it in this configuration, which is still a considerable savings from the factory magazines, the 10 rounders that CZ provides. And also, I have the ability to maintain the magazine. This, I could at least go back to the original 16 round magazine when I go across state lines to you know, shoot or in the free state. Or, and let's throw out a scenario out there, societal collapse. I could go back to the original configuration of what this pistol was designed to do as a combat firearm. So there you have it. It looks pretty good, huh? That's what it looks like in the holster there. I would not use this for concealed carry, not this magazine at least, because it sticks out an inch and a half there, or inch and a quarter. But for range time or just plinking around the property or whatever, this will work for me. And from now on, I'm just going to buy 16 round magazines to have them in stock for obvious reasons.